we will be talking to Dolapo Adedepo. Of course, this is a story that has been hitting the social media. Everyone is abuzz on the upcoming conference that is the Creative Africa Exchange, and she is the head of the global engagement. Yes, for CAX. So briefly tell us, what's this conference that's going to take place next week in Kigali?
All right, first, thank you for having me. Yes, my name is Dolapo. I'm head of global engagement for CAX, Creative Africa Exchange. And what that is essentially a marketplace, a consolidated marketplace for the creative industry in Africa. And I think, as most people or most creatives would know, the problem with access to funding or getting funding to creative industry projects is because it's so fragmented and everyone's working in silos. So, we created CAX to be the marketplace where we can have a program and bring creatives. And a lot of people think creatives and they just think, oh, in entertainment or music, you just go directly there, but we're talking about fashion, entertainment, music, the crafts, people that do crafts and
film.
Yes, film. I mean, there's just so many facets to the creative industry, and what we're trying to do is first highlight that and then bring them together so it's easier to get access to funding.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But how different is it from the other programs that we have globally, even in Africa?
Yeah. So CAX is actually an Afrexim Bank program. So this is unique in the fact that the bank itself has taken on CAX and said, we're trying to put money into the creative sector. We're going to use CAX as the program that's going to help us to do that. And by doing that, we can now highlight people that have projects in the creative industry, and we can they will have access to funding through us. We identify the projects, and then we can now fund these particular projects. So, Afrexim Bank is the export-import bank for Africa, and they now see the creative industry as viable. Which it is. I mean, I think it's like Africa to the world, most people say. So they're like, listen, hey, this is viable. We can get some money from this, So let's find a way to identify all the creatives, what they're doing, what projects are out there, and let's put some money into the industry and make it as big as it could be.
So now you're having this conference come to Rwanda. This is the very first time you're having CAX in Rwanda.
Yeah.
So why Rwanda? I see the CAX 2020 weekend, why this?
So CAX is so Afrexim Bank, like I said, it's an Afrexim Bank program. And Afrexim Bank does something called the Intra-Africa Trade Fair, IATF.
Okay.
It's every 2 years. This is the second edition. The first one was in Egypt. In Cairo.
Yeah.
This edition, which will be September 2020, will be in Rwanda, in Kigali. Rwanda is the place to be. So we decided, since it is, an Afrexim program, what they tried to do is highlight the creative industry separately and do CAX as a prelude to IATF. So once Rwanda essentially won the bid for IATF, it was like, okay, well, we're their program. Let's do a little teaser almost. So CAX is the creative industry teaser to IATF.
So what and who can we expect? Because we've seen global Hollywood actors, we've seen, so what and, who should we expect?
I don't want to give any names. I mean, but most of it's on social media. We're definitely going to have top, Hollywood stars that people probably don't see at many conferences. You know what I mean? The Jim Hansu, and a lot of these people you'll realize that are actually working on projects in Africa, and no one knows about it. Even American, African-American, let's say, artists and people in the industry, the Star Jones. There's so many people that are like, listen, Africa's the place to be, and I'm tracing my roots. Or like, we're just trying to show different facets of the creative industry, bring people from Hollywood, Nollywood, and all the different industries in Africa, and just, bring them together. But you guys have seen all of it on social media, but I want you to come and check it out yourself.
Absolutely. But then the question comes, then why don't we have the African stars that we know? When we go to Nollywood, we have, big names that we know. When we go, say, even in Rwanda, Hollywood, like we'd like to call it.
Nice.
So, exactly. So why don't we have these as the stars shining, in the African continent?
So, I mean, you can never have an event where you have everyone that you want, but what we're trying to do is just take a little bit, and we hope that, you know, this is the launch, but there's so many more to come.
Absolutely.
So what we're trying to do is maybe bring people that people don't necessarily always see and don't have the access to on an ordinary basis. And then, yeah, we're still going to have, you know, some, what is it, Hollywood?
From the Hollywood, yes.
And Nollywood stars are going to be there, Rita Dominic, RMD, Omotola Jalade. So we are still going to have the people that you recognize, but we wanted there to be more of a mix instead of the typical, these are the people we see on the continent. Hey, let's bring some Hollywood into this and, you know, let's mix it up so people get a taste of it all.
We also know that you'll be launching the MVMO.
What makes CAX so unique is the way that we are bringing creatives together. It's in different facets. It's the festivals, it's the launch, but also we are launching an app. So we developed an app called MVMO, Music Videos, Marketplace Other. And what the app is supposed to do is actually be that marketplace, be that consolidated marketplace for the industry. So from movies, from videos, from goods that creatives are selling, and live streaming channels like CNN 24/7, all of this has been developed and is going to be available on this app that is streaming, that can be streamed over 2G networks, which is unheard of. So that's really our unique approach. By having it be able to be compressed and streamed on 2G, more people will have access to it. You know, if you think about it, more people are still using these older phones, especially when you go into more rural areas. So now they'll have access to that same sort of technology, to the same movies and videos that, you know, maybe more city folk would have. So it's really, we want to bring the, consolidate the marketplace and then give everyone access to the creative industry through this app. So yeah, so we're very excited about the app, and yes.
We know there's exhibitions, we know there's registration. Is the registration closed? What kind of exhibitions do we have?
Yes.
Do we have a runway? Because I know there's a fashion thing going on.
I mean, anything you can think of. We have movies that we're premiering. We have an exhibition hall and a fashion installation. We are not closed. We're still, people are still registering and doing their verification process, validation process, I believe that's what it's called.
Yes.
Exhibitors are still signing up. We'll have people from all walks of creative life, you know, and most importantly, fashion, because we all know that that's the big one. We'll have stars sort of doing meet and greets. We'll have master classes from filmmakers, from just people in the industry that can speak on their perspective. So please still register. Again, like I said, we're going to have a live fashion installation. So I think a lot of times we just know this is what it is, this is what fashion is. And we realize that in trying to consolidate marketplace, there are different techniques that sort of cut across Pan-African borders. So whether it's weaving, embroidery, tie-dye, in different regions, we all use the same sort of practices. It might be different materials and different textiles, but we use the same practices. So we're trying to highlight the synergy that's there and why we all need to come together and sort of, you know,
form it up.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Delapo, for
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing everyone at CAX.
And good luck.
Thank you.